because, like, it's like there's so much inside of me. It's like, where do you stop? Where do you cut it off at? Where do you cut off pain? Where do you cut off experience? Where do you cut off joy? There's no cutoff period.
No, there's not.
So, that's where I found myself. And like I said, when my mother left, I wasn't really living the life that I was supposed to be living. So that became like my pain right here on earth, And if I can, I would like to introduce myself with the poem, A Letter to My Mother. You know what I'm saying? Because,
yes,
my name Mary's son derives from her. You know what I'm saying? Because she's Mary and I'm her son. But not the S-O-N, but the S-U-N. Because as I do this poetry and I do this work, I'm the sun that shines. And every time I shine, I keep my mother and me alive all the time. And the more I do this, it's like I come to grips where I didn't feel as guilty no more. You know what I'm saying? About the way I was living when my mother, was alive. Because I realized that, life is life. And, it's never too late. You know what I'm saying? And all of that is inside my poem if I can get a chance to recite it here while I'm on air.
Yes, please do. Would you like to do it now or when we come back from break?
Yes, I'll do it right now while the fire is there.
All right.
Okay, the name of this poem is called A Letter to My Mother. I gave you pain as you left this world. And Ma, I remember we laughed and joked over the pain that my big head gave you during birth. And for so many years, I lived in so much pain, Ma. And it seems like that pain became my hell right here on this earth. Because for so many years, it seemed like I just wanted to die. But the more that I wanted to die, it seems the more that I just wanted to live. And then finally, Ma, I found my purpose reciting this poetry, Ma. And I was back to the world that I choose to give. I've traveled all the way to the North Pole. And on a thin layer of ice, I slipped in through the cracks. And that's when I felt the coldness of this entire world, Ma. Because unlike you, Ma, no one else helped my back. But you see, I just kept on fighting, Ma. Because I knew deep inside that I wanted to change. And I knew that I had all the necessary strength inside of me. Because it's your beautiful blood that flows through my veins. And they say that I inherited my sensitive side from you. And that I possess the strength of an old slave from my father. So I intertwined what was given to me from the both of you, Ma. And without a doubt, Ma, that inspired me to work even harder. And besides Aunt Lottie, I don't hear too much from the family. But it's all right, because God has blessed me with some beautiful friends along the way. And it's from all of their strength that I have now acquired all of my strength. And without a doubt, Ma, your boy's getting stronger and stronger every day. And you now have several grand and great-grandchildren. Something that the world thought I would never live long enough to see. So every day I give my thanks to God, Ma, for his compassion and his love and his mercy. And your beautiful blood that passes down straight through me. And yes, it took me damn near 50 years, Ma. But like you would always say, Bobby, when God's in the picture, my son, it's never ever too late. So one day, if you just happen to hear that loud knock up at the door, Ma, please make sure that it's you, Ma, to welcome me, your son, Bobby, a.k.a. Mary's son, up at that pearly gate. Sincerely yours, A Letter to My Mother.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us, Mary's son. I really appreciate that. And can you tell us the title of that poem again?
A Letter to My Mother.
Okay, and is this also off of the Donna's collections?
You know what? Actually, when you have 300 poems and you submit 70 to 80 of them, sometimes it's hard to remember, but I'm almost sure that I did submit that, being that, Mary's son is like, the core of everything. I'm almost sure that I submitted that to the book, But if not, you know what I'm saying, it would definitely be in my next one, which will be more of a compilation about my life. See, this book here, Donna's Collection, Donna's Collection derives from my wife. She's been with me through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things. And a lot of these poems are poems that I've written her. Some of the poems are about her. Some of them are about our relationship. Some of them are about her friends, things that they went through that she told me about. And some of them are just the things that a woman goes through, And like one of my most prized possessions is a poem that I wrote called Black and Blue. I don't know where the time sits with this. This one is a lot shorter, but this poem right here I wrote because my mother was a victim of domestic violence. My wife before me was a victim of domestic violence. And it's like so many people that I came in contact with was how can I say, a victim of domestic violence. It's like I couldn't help but to put something together for that. And the reason I put something together for that because I was invited to a women's shelter one time, and they wanted me to bring something there to shake the sisters up and to wake them up, because so many of them seem to go right back into these relationships after, you know, they get rescued out of them.
Right.
You know? So, you know, Black and Blue is like, you know, my wife said that's probably one of the best poems that I ever wrote.
Would you be willing to perform that for us? Another one for us?
Yes. I'm going to do the Black and Blue because this one here is actually...
What we're gonna do first is we're gonna go to a break. So you just told us about basically what the Black and Blue poem is about. Is dealing with domestic violence, especially awareness. So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna get into the Black and Blue poem, and then we're gonna find out who has most influenced you in your life. Any advice that you have for others, and then we're going to wrap it up and find out where we can contact you. So keep it locked right here to Wild Radio. You tune into Indie News Live. This is your girl, Caribgem. I am interviewing Mary Sun, the poet. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
all those wonderful times. I can't deny you got me wrapped around your finger. It was just you and I, all those wonderful times. I can't deny you got me wrapped around your finger. It was just you and I, all those wonderful times. I can't deny you got me wrapped around your finger. It was just you and I, all those wonderful times. I can't deny you got me wrapped around your finger.
You are now tuned into WowURadio.net. Indie media for the indie spirit. Get wrapped up in 24/7 indie music. Wow Radio.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Caribgem right here on Wow Radio. You tune into Indie Newz Live, and I am sitting down with Mary Sun, the poet. How are you today, sir?
I'm fine again, and how can I not be better sitting here on your show, sister?
Aw, thank you. If you missed out in the beginning of the show, we talked to Mary Sun. He gave us a little background information about who he is, his collections. He actually performed one of his poems also before the break. So right now we want to get into his second poem of the night, and this is called Black and Blue, and it's in relation to domestic violence awareness. So Mary Sun, take it away.
Okay. And I thank you all for having me on your show. This poem right here is called Black and Blue. And this poem is dedicated to all my beautiful sisters and all women who live and died at the hands of an abusive man. I bring you to open up your heart to Black and Blue. You said that you will forever love me and that I will forever be safe with you. So why do you paint my beautiful face with your ugly knuckles, leaving me staring into the mirrors of black and blue? Because all I did was try to love you, and in every way I tried to love you even harder. Because you gave me the most beautiful children, but yet the most ugliest love is their father. And I held your back so faithfully, doing all of the things in life that any woman should ever do. But you constantly left me dying in pain, a reflection of all that pain that's living inside of you. And can't you see how much I really loved you? Because you was the beautiful air that I would breathe. And without you, I felt as if I was going to die, making it that much harder for me to leave. And you always say how much you really love me, but when I ask you, do you love me, you always say no. So I found myself falling in love with your kind of love, the more that your so-called love continues to grow. And I couldn't seem to unshackle myself from your love, so I guess forever in love, I'll forever be your slave. And those beautiful flowers you promised to bring me yesterday, my love, well, today, my love, you can gently sprinkle them all across my grave. Sincerely yours, Black and Blue.
Wow. That is a very, very, very powerful poem. And I know that those who have experiences with domestic violence can definitely relate to that. I definitely like your poem because it was very simple to the point. You know, some poets, they tend to use big words and do too much, but it was very simple, and it really relayed that emotion of domestic violence. So thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Now, when was this poem created? When was this poem created? And what, well, we know domestic violence is what pushed you to create this poem, but when was that moment when you realized, I'm going to do this?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I was sitting down one day, I was in my cell, and I received a letter from my daughter's mother. And she told me, she said, you know what? She says, I pray that when you come home, you never ever put me through what all that I've been through. And, you know, she told me some things that she's been through that not even her family know about, things that I couldn't believe a man would do to a woman. And when she told that to me, it's like I swell up inside. The only way to relieve that swelling was to write. And, you know, at that point, man, you know, I just turned the typewriter on, and I just went into this real dark place with a little small bright light. And it's from there where I just let the typewriter go, and the words just come. I have to tell you that I don't do too much correcting and and editing and all that, the majority of these poems